The emperor spoke, Princess Charlotte, you are late again. Your engagement with the Duke will be announced to the whole empire tomorrow. Your wedding will be held in 6 months. This is your fiancé, Duke Renius. Charlotte asked, what? Wait, Adler. She thought, the novel that I was about to read yesterday but could not instantly popped into my head. The novel I could not read, because I worked for 5 days straight without rest and died from overwork. To think I have become the character that falls for Victor. This love-driven Charlotte. No way, why me? The Duke spoke, greetings, Your Highness. It is my first time formally greeting you in front of His Majesty, the Emperor. Did you say Adler, are you? The Emperor shouted, how dare you? Maintain your formalities when addressing others, and if you are here to request my blessing to marry Archduke Kilian. I have nothing to say to that. Furthermore, have you ever conducted yourself with grace? Just recently, you laid down in my office and threw a tantrum. How could you now utter those words? Charlotte thought, Archduke Kilian, who is that again? She replied, that is not it. The Emperor told her, if you do not heed my words this time, I will strip you of your royal title as princess. Charlotte asked, wait a moment, please hear me out. The Emperor shouted, Chamberlain, escort these two to a separate hall so they can greet each other. Charlotte thought, does he have no intentions of listening to what I have to say? After that, Charlotte observed, this guy has a completely different attitude when he is in front of the Emperor. He is the most eligible bachelor in the empire, and the one who will have his hand in marriage is me. The Duke stated, I know you have your eyes set on someone else for marriage. There is not one person in the empire who does not know of this. Regardless, it is an arranged marriage. After all, it's not like we would ever want to see each other. We will just meet again on the wedding day. There is no reason for us to meet like this. Charlotte thought, I will be murdered on the night of our wedding. What he means by saying that is, he will kill me the next time we meet. The most eligible bachelor in the empire. Would anyone believe it if someone labeled him a murderer? However, all my life, I have buried my head in murder investigations. I was a low-income prosecutor. In order for Charlotte not to die in this lifetime, I must find evidence that proves he is a serial killer. This is the only way. I will find evidence under the guise of romance. Then she said, I fell in love with your grace at first sight, so fall in love with me. The Duke asked, what on earth are you talking about? Charlotte replied, I fell in love with the Duke at first sight. I want a love marriage, not a strategic one. The Duke asked, are you telling me to believe that the princess, until this morning, was asking to arrange a marriage with Duke Kilian? Even a passing dog would know about the news of her trying to persuade His Majesty. Charlotte thought, the Duke and His Majesty mentioned Duke Kilian. It seems like this princess has a crush on someone. Since Duke Kilian did not reciprocate, she must be throwing a tantrum. In that case, she spoke, I have already forgotten about any man under the dazzling charm of the Duke. I tend to fall in love easily. Look. The Duke is the #1 man I want to date in the empire. The Emperor came, Charlotte said, Father, I am so happy that you have chosen the Duke as my fiancé. I want to date and meet him frequently until we get married. The Emperor said, it seems our Charlotte has fallen hard for the Duke. How fortunate it is that she has come to her senses even now. Duke, I trust my younger daughter to you. Is there perhaps a problem? The Duke replied, no, I will take your orders. After that, Massa spoke, I will assist with the wedding preparations. Charlotte thought, all I know is from the introduction. I know that I have become the mischievous princess and that my fiancé, the Duke, is the prime suspect in a series of murders. I need more information. Charlotte asked, how long have you been working here? Massa replied, 4 years. Charlotte interrupted, what is my name then? Massa replied, Princess Charlotte von der House of Asgard. Charlotte asked, why is the name so long? I will tell you the truth. I can't remember anything before yesterday. Honestly, I don't even know who I am. Massa replied, your health has been frail, and for several days, you lost your memory due to a hunger strike. No one from the royal council has come. Charlotte thought, perhaps enduring for so long, fueled by the wickedness of the real Charlotte, who was called a miscreant, yet, you have worked for 4 years. It is clear that Massa possesses great character. Charlotte told her, but one thing is that I trusted, relied on, and liked you a lot, Masa said. I had no idea you felt that way. Charlotte continued, since it would not be beneficial for my current situation to be known. This matter should stay between you and me. You are the only one by my side. Masa emphasized, of course, I will take good care of you from now on, trust only me. Come to think of it, Masa recalled, the princess occasionally showed symptoms of memory loss, when she shouted, you think I caused this? Don't be ridiculous, I have never done such a thing. Who are you? I have never kept someone like you. Charlotte thought, it is quite a remarkable situation. After that, I was able to obtain information about Charlotte from Masa. My mother was the emperor's concubine, she passed away giving birth to me. The emperor, who loved my mother, defied opposition from many and officially recognized me as the crown princess. It would have been nice if he had taken responsibility and raised me well, but the emperor seemed to care less after granting me the title of princess. It was natural for the empress and her offspring, who were the emperor's legitimate children, to dislike me. The nobles also subtly ignored me. I was just a princess in name, with no support or influence. You ask, but why did I engage in a hunger strike? Masa replied, in reality, you were advocating to His Majesty to arrange a marriage with Duke Kilian. Charlotte thought, so Duke Kilian was the object of Charlotte's fervent unrequited love. He passionately despised the mischievous Charlotte, so risking her life with a hunger strike just to get them to arrange the marriage. It must have been tremendous love, despite the misbehavior of the princess, who acted wickedly. Duke Kilian still agreed to marry her. I wonder what weakness he found. Then she said, bring me the newspapers from the past week. After that, Charlotte thought, it's about a serial murder. It is likely to be a hot topic in the news with an ongoing investigation. Found it. So far, there have been a total of 4 victims. We need information before the 8th victim. Then she asked, I think I need to get an assistant. After that, Masa asked, Princess, why are you specifically choosing an assistant from among the prisoners? Charlotte replied, because criminals seem to suit villains. The person spoke, prisoner number 0221, step out for a moment. Then he said, please be careful, as this person has assaulted nobles. The prisoner stated, if the princess intends to use torture for her amusement, it is best to stop. As you just heard, I even assaulted nobles. Consider me a crazy dog. After that, Charlotte spoke, I have no intention of torturing you, instead, let me earn your loyalty. Watson asked, what does that mean? Charlotte said, I could pay your bail instead, of course, with identification as well. Watson asked, why would the princess do such a thing for me? If you want to play with me like a toy, wake up from your dream. Charlotte told him, don't worry, I don't have a hobby of playing with people, of course. There are things I want from you in return. I am going to look into a few things, and I want you to be my assistant for 6 months. Watson asked, why are you suggesting that to me? Charlotte said, I came here after finding out that you were a former investigator for the Imperial Army. If you accept my offer, you will be hired as a servant in the princess's palace. You will receive a weekly stipend separate from your bail, plus, I will cover all of your mother's hospital bills. So, what is your answer? Watson replied, for the title, would Master be enough? After that, Charlotte thought, Imperial Family Tree, Nobility Directory, Imperial History, Imperial Law. I am a good person who is good at studying. Memorize everything written in the book, adapt quickly, and survive here. Even if I stay up all night for a few days, I don't mind, but my body is much weaker than in my previous life. Watson came and spoke, just 24 hours ago. I never imagined that I would be commuting to Princess Charlotte's palace. Charlotte replied, Master, the title will do, and you don't have to maintain that stiff posture in front of me. Watson said, if you wish, let's do it that way. How about speaking comfortably? There is no reason to treat an employee with respect. Charlotte spoke. This is the first thing you will do for me. Read it all and burn it. Watson asked, are you asking me to collect information on a serial murder case? Charlotte replied, it would be nice to be able to see detailed incident records. She thought, what makes serial murder different from a regular murder? The point is that it leaves a unique characteristic at the crime scene. For example, things like the criminal's habits, to confirm its characteristics. Even records come first. A maid came and told her, "Princess, His Imperial Majesty has ordered you to participate in today's breakfast meeting." Charlotte thought, the breakfast meeting is a weekly event, where the emperor gathers with his children for breakfast and engages in conversation. It is not just an ordinary breakfast gathering but one where the ministers sit together and discuss. The purpose is to assess which of the apparent children have the qualities to succeed the throne. Naturally, Charlotte rarely attended the breakfast meeting, because she was far from having the right to succeed the throne. Charlotte asked, "Why is he suddenly calling me to a gathering?" The maid replied, "The princess's palace budget will increase if she looks good to His Majesty, the Emperor. You wasted the princess's palace budget on hiring Lord." Next scene. The Emperor asked, "Why are you late today too?" Charlotte replied, "Sorry, I found out about the invitation late." Prince Frederick spoke, "I am sure the maids did not read the invitation." Princess Camilla said, "Well, I have never seen Charlotte read. Do you even know how to read letters?" Charlotte thought, in the novel, these were the two who particularly hated Charlotte. "I am sorry, but I am not the real one." Then she said, "Really?" The Emperor stated, "I have called you, because I heard that the Duke of Adler will be attending the contest today." The Duke was looking at her. Charlotte thought, what is with that killer look? The next moment, she blinked one eye. The Duke thought, what the hell? The meeting had started. Frederick spoke, "A good harvest is expected this year as well. How about mobilizing the Imperial Army to plow the wheat fields? The supply has to be reduced to maintain prices." The conversation continued. Then Prince Frederick said, "Charlotte, if you are going to suggest resolving it as the god of crops did last time, you don't have to answer." Charlotte thought, there is no fate for me with the throne. I was just planning to quietly watch. But if you keep doing this, I can't stand it. Then she said, "I don't think you can solve the problem based on your opinion. If the Imperial Army were to push out the wheat, wouldn't the common people be dissatisfied?" Everyone realized they had made a mistake. The prince asked, "What are you saying?" Charlotte thought, just because there is a large harvest of wheat, should we get rid of its fields? The prince's opinion was a simplistic response, focused solely on the equilibrium price of the supply-demand curve. Camelia's answer was better than the prince's. Free trade may be a valid opinion in modern society, but it is wrong in this world. The empire is a country that rules over conquered states through war, and those states constantly try to gain independence from the empire. If they were rebelling, would they really export grain in that situation? The princess spoke, "My opinion is flawless, so there is nothing to say." Charlotte said, "No, if we release the grain to the surrounding countries, it will be used as provisions and will become a great threat. That is also nonsense. At that time, we may really have to pray to the god of war to solve it. So, my opinion is, let's limit wheat farming and select farms that will grow fruits and vegetables, then give them subsidies. The wheat harvest will naturally decrease." She thought, microeconomics is a theory that deals with price and quantity adjustments. There is no way they can beat me. They are minors in economics. The princess said, "But you don't know anything about it. Do you think you can grow fruits or vegetables on the land where wheat was grown?" Charlotte replied, "In such places, solving the issue with barley cultivation would suffice. If we produce barley and make it into liquor to sell, there won't be any export issues." The emperor spoke, "Princess Charlotte, you will also attend the morning competition every week. That is all for this competition. After that," Princess Camellia said, "Don't get the wrong idea, you just got lucky today." Charlotte thought, compared to criminals, royals are excessively elegant even when they curse. "Anyway, I have another purpose," Charlotte asked. "You haven't forgotten, have you? Today is the day we go on a date." Next scene. She thought, it was the same before. The only difference is the way the Duke is openly observing me. She asked, "Your name is Irenaeus von dem Adler, right?" The Duke replied, "Yes, that is right. Princess Charlotte von der Haus." Charlotte thought, what kind of long name is this? He asked, "Your name is too long, so how about calling you Renier?" The Duke replied, "No, you can't." She thought, he is too stubborn. Then she said, "Fine, I will take it slow. I am going to ask you a few questions. From now on, You have the right to refuse to testify. The Duke asked, "What are you talking about now?" Charlotte thought, "My past life habits." Then she said, I want to know everything about you through questions. You know that I fell in love with you at first sight." The Duke asked, "Is that the look of love at first sight?" Charlotte thought, if he weren't so introverted, he would be my perfect type in terms of looks. The Duke said, "Ask your questions, I will try to answer only the truth." Charlotte thought, "Good, this is the first interrogation, get ready, Duke. You won't even be able to figure out the bones with the newspaper." Charlotte asked, "Who was your first lover?" She thought, the information I find out about him through interrogation. The Duke asked, "Why did you ask about my first love?" Charlotte replied, "Well, it is necessary to figure out my man's past." She thought, the most important thing in a murder investigation is the motive for murder. That is why it is helpful to know the suspect's past. Knowing that person's past can help with the investigation, especially if he killed his wife on their wedding night. We can't help but think of jealousy. The Duke spoke, "I'm sure your past is not easy either." Charlotte told him, "I have already sorted out my past. Now, all I can think about is you." The Duke spoke, "Well, I don't have a first love, you don't have to believe me, but it is the truth." Charlotte asked, "So, am I the Duke's first and last lover?" The Duke replied, "Yes, that is correct. Is there a problem?" Charlotte replied, "No." She thought, in an empire full of men eager to date, yet you have no experience in love. The Duke asked, "I have heard that once you are hooked on something, you are persistent. Would you say that applies to me too?" Charlotte thought, "You are probably referring to my obsession with Killian until now. I don't think I would be like that towards myself. So, you don't want to get caught for the serial killings." The Duke continued, "I suddenly want to know the reason for this. What is so great about me?" Charlotte thought, "Are you kidding me?" Then she said, "I fell in love at first sight." The Duke said, "I am curious about what exactly you fell for." Charlotte thought, if I don't answer, you might start suspecting something. Then she replied, "The Duke's radiant blonde hair shines like sunlight on a field. His deep and clear blue eyes evoke thoughts of serene lakes. His smooth, porcelain-like white skin." She went on for some time. Charlotte thought, "Is that too exaggerated? It doesn't make sense." The Duke replied, "I understand." After that, Watson spoke, "Here, this is what you requested this morning." Charlotte said, "Imperial Investigation Bureau investigation records. How did you obtain this?" Watson replied, "It is a trade secret." Charlotte started reading about the 4 different murder investigations. Then she said, "All the victims were strangled." Watson told her, "The suspect is estimated to be a tall, sturdy man over 180 centimeters." Charlotte thought, the Duke is indeed a well-built man who graduated from military school. But there wouldn't be many such men in the Empire. So we can't prove that the Duke is the culprit based on just that speculation. Watson asked, "May I ask why the princess is investigating the serial murder case?" Charlotte replied, "It is a trade secret." Watson asked, "Well, I will just do as instructed, so the reason does not matter. Is there anything else you would like me to do?" Charlotte told him, "I would like to investigate Duke Adler." Watson asked, "But isn't the Duke your fiancé? You would know more about him than I do. Are you curious about the Duke's relationships with women?" Charlotte replied, "Of course. Everything, the more confidential, the better." Watson replied, "Yes, I understand. I will follow your instructions." Charlotte thought, "I can't reveal the purpose of the investigation to Watson yet, just in case I accidentally let slip that I am investigating the Duke to others. It would suit the nature of a villain to use that information against me. Since I have sent a summons to the Duke for the investigation, he should have arrived by now." On the other hand, the Duke asked, "Did you send a letter today as well?" The butler replied, "Yes, ever since you last saw him, you have been sending him letters every day." Next scene. The maid spoke, "Your Highness, finally a letter from the Duke has arrived." Charlotte thought, after hesitating for so long, did he change his mind, so he's going to the opera? If he didn't agree, I was planning to use the Emperor's name to force him to come out, but it is better if he comes willingly. After that, Charlotte spoke, "You're looking handsome today. I almost thought of you as an opera house statue. Then she thought, this is a tricky subject of investigation. After some time, the Duke asked, I heard it is quite hard to get tickets because it is the most popular performance in this empire. Charlotte thought, if you were just acting like this, why did you agree to go together? It is so dark, I can't see his expression. Because you feel like you're watching the opera by force, you won't have a conversation with me. I think his actions are trying to convince me not to disturb him. Charlotte spoke, I actually don't want to watch this expensive performance, and I think I would enjoy more time with you by just having a chat together. I would be happy if I could only see your face. The Duke replied, I can't do that every day. I can't see you every day because of my busy schedule, so, in a week, Charlotte asked. Just once. The Duke said, let's meet twice a week. Charlotte commented, I want to see the Duke every day, but twice a week is good enough. Then she thought, next, I will bring you to a secluded place. After some time, the Duke spoke, now you should wake up. It has already ended, Charlotte said. It is because I lack sleep lately, she thought. I slept against the shoulder of a killer who would kill me. And maybe now he will think of me as an uneducated woman. The Duke asked, you lack sleep. Is it because of me? Is it because you want to see my face? You wrote that in your letter. Charlotte replied, yes, that is right. I am always thinking about you every day, so that is the reason why, in the future, I will set a time to meet you and let you know in advance. Please wait patiently and have a good sleep. Let's go now. Charlotte thought, what was that just now? Did you just say what I wanted to hear? A few days later. The maid spoke, this is the invitation for a debutante. The letter says Grand Duke Killian will attend. Should you go too, Your Grace? Charlotte replied, I am not interested in him anymore. The maid said, okay, I will write a declining letter. After some conversation, Charlotte thought, the cycle of serial murder tends to be constant. However, in this case, I still don't see the pattern. No additional crimes for 8 weeks. The first victim of the serial murders was a tutor of Count Mostyn. I still don't know the pattern yet. The criminal did not commit murder according to his psychological state, but at a time when a reason to kill occurred. I might be able to find more clues if I look at the places the victims lived. Then she said, I have changed my mind. I will attend the debutante. After that, the maid asked, Your Grace, are you sure about that? I know what kind of person you are, but you should wear a different dress for that day. Charlotte thought, a white beaded dress like snow, reminiscent of a wedding dress, a sexy dress with an exposed chest and back, then a dress that looks like cotton candy with a lot of lace. The maid told her, if you don't remember, you always choose a dress that stands out to catch Grand Duke Killian's eye. Charlotte said, I need to buy a new dress. The maid replied, but we don't have any more budget left, there is only one way. What if we use this? Charlotte shouted, no way. After some time, Charlotte said, if you are busy, you don't have to come to the debutante ball, you don't have to attend as my partner. The Duke asked, then what was the content of the letter you sent to the princess? I am referring to the explicit letters you sent a few days ago. Is it true that the princess likes me? Charlotte replied, yes, of course, that feeling is not only known to the heavens and the earth. It is even known in the palace corridors. I like you. The Duke asked, but why don't I have to attend as your partner? Charlotte thought. Strange. I thought you would be happy. Did you get offended? Is there something you want to hide there? Charlotte spoke, no, it is because I don't want my beloved Duke to do something he does not want to because of me. The Duke said, not really, it is not something I dislike. I plan to attend the debutante ball, and if I don't attend the event with my fiancé as my partner, my reputation in society will suffer greatly. Charlotte thought, yes, there is a matter of dignity in front of people. Then she replied, then I will assume that you will be attending as my partner. Actually, I have something to tell you about the dress I will be wearing at the ball. Would it be okay if I showed a bit of cleavage that day? The Duke said, so you mean you will be wearing a dress that reveals your cleavage in front of everyone at the ball? Charlotte told him, actually, I don't have enough funds in the palace budget to buy a new dress. She thought, it's not like I want to wear a scandalous dress in front of everyone. Am I being perceived as uncultured? Is that why they are upset? Next scene, at the meeting. Charlotte thought, it is absurd that even as a princess, I am allocated such a paltry budget. Today, I will earn even more of the emperor's trust. What is going on? They greeted me first. The princess said, what is this? The head chef of the imperial palace should know that I have a nut allergy. Get this out of here immediately. Eat this pancake. Then the meeting started, and this time, it was about magic. Charlotte thought, when it is my turn after hearing my brother's answer, then I will say something about magic. The emperor stated, let's hear from Princess Charlotte, who had a good suggestion last time. Please go ahead and speak. Charlotte thought, if I fail this time, people will say that my last competition win was just a stroke of luck. Suddenly, Princess Camellia asked, what is happening all of a sudden? Charlotte thought, lips and nails turning purple, bright crimson spots visible on exposed skin, the scent of bitter almonds emanating from the mouth. Charlotte spoke, don't touch anything or anyone in the restaurant from now on. Especially do not take anything near the mouth or nose. Then she thought, the method of this murder is different from the serial killings. It is unlikely that he is the culprit. Charlotte continued, someone tried to poison the contestants. After that, the captain spoke, thanks to you, princess, we were able to prevent a major disaster. When we investigated the powdered sugar that was sprinkled on the pancakes, we found that it was mixed with cyanide. We also found poison in the sugar container in the kitchen. Charlotte thought, so someone sprinkled poisoned powdered sugar on the food and plates. Then a servant carrying loose plates picked up a cake and ate it, spreading the poison. Then she asked, is the head chef the prime suspect? The captain replied, the head chef was absent, so the sous chef prepared the meal instead. He keeps repeating that he does not know anything and does not admit to the crime. We are trying to force him to open his mouth. Charlotte told him, the head chef sets the menu for the week. All the dishes were managed under his responsibility. Sugar and salt are precious ingredients in the empire, so the sous chef cannot manage them. How about we arrest the head chef before he runs away? After that, Charlotte thought, as expected, the head chef of the imperial palace was caught near the border as he tried to escape the empire. He is a spy from Cordy who had infiltrated the palace a long time ago. Those who failed to notice the presence of the spy in the palace were also executed. Anyway, I managed to score big points with the emperor in this competition, just as I planned. The emperor greatly praised my work in this case and doubled my budget. It is the first time I have been out this late. Something happened. Was the spy who infiltrated to assassinate the nobility just one chef? Could there be more than one person? Please, someone save me. Martin came and asked, are you okay? There is no one. Please calm down, Charlotte asked. Is that what was following me? After that, Martin spoke. The Duke seems to have a very clean private life. There are no scandals or rumors whatsoever. As if these things are a waste of his time. But it seems like his father was not like that. His family history is complicated. The Duke's biological mother passed away from an illness 5 years ago, and the current Duchess is his stepmother. The Duke is quite fond of his only remaining blood relative, his younger sister. Charlotte asked, do you know why the Duke did not enlist in the Imperial Army after graduating from the military academy? Martin replied, only the Duke knows the reason. Charlotte thought, since the Emperor gained glory in the Conquest War, the treatment of soldiers has been excellent, yet, why did he not enlist in the Imperial Army? Watson spoke. The tutor of the Duke's family was the first victim of the serial murder. Charlotte asked, tell me more. Watson replied, why are you investigating the serial murder case when you are so timid that you even startle at the sight of a cat in the garden? Charlotte spoke, I will find a suitable escort for me. Watson asked, shall I protect you? The next scene the maid said, sir, you must make sure to protect Her Highness. Watson replied, more importantly, should I even be here right now? Charlotte told him, it is too hot to go outside. Besides, you two have to help me pick out a dress. The maid asked, what? Sir Watson as well, Charlotte whispered, don't be so harsh with him. Watson is guarding me for free. Then she said, don't just stand there. Have a seat. I will try them on one at a time. So please tell me how they look. After that, the maid spoke. I don't think this properly shows the loveliness of Your Highness. For the next outfit, Watson told her, The amount of lace makes you look like a cupcake with an exorbitant amount of frosting. After that, the maid said, "This dress suits you perfectly." Watson also said, "It looks very beautiful. And another thing, please eat more, your wrist injury looks the same as it did yesterday." Charlotte replied, "I may appear weak, but I am actually rather strong, so don't worry." Next scene, Charlotte had some conversation with noble ladies. She thought, "I might be able to gain information while I am here." After some time, Charlotte realized, these 3 ladies are from families that support Camilla, and they follow her immediately as if they were her maids. After that, all the ladies left. Blair spoke, "Then I will excuse myself. I am sorry for today, I will be taking my leave." Charlotte said, "I won't take too much of your time, but don't invest in the perfume company the other lady proposed. No matter how I look at it, it has to be a scam." Blair asked, "What are you talking about?" Charlotte told her, "The business has not even been established yet, so how could they be so sure of the earnings? They're asking for investment without any basis. It might be hard for you to trust me, but please heed my words and don't invest in that business. If it is not a scam, then I will compensate you for the earnings." Blair asked, "Why would your highness?" Charlotte interrupted, "Please keep in mind what I have said. I am telling you this because we are going to become family." Blair replied, "Thank you, your highness." Charlotte said, "If my advice proves helpful to you in any way, please tell me something about your brother the next time we meet. I am very curious to learn more about the Duke." Blair replied, "Of course, your highness." After that, the maid spoke, "You did not have any problems, right? Those ladies are famous for only following Princess Camilla and having terrible business sense." Charlotte replied, "Well, they say that if you sit quietly by the river, the corpse of your enemy will float by soon enough." The next morning, 3 of them chatted, "This is not the dress we saw before. Did they deliver the wrong dress?" Charlotte said, "It seems like the Duke sent the dress." Then she thought, "He acts cold when it is just the 2 of us." After that, Charlotte whispered, "Drive my carriage to the Mostyn estate and wait for me until the ball ends, just in case anything happens." The Duke came and said, "I have been waiting for you." The Duke asked, "Do you have anything to say about my tailcoat?" Charlotte replied, "Of course I do. It is elegant, classy, and refined. I can't stop admiring it. Today, your grace will be the most handsome man there." The Duke asked, "Have you fallen for me all over again?" Charlotte replied, "Of course, your grace. Your charm knows no bounds." She thought, "What is he talking about suddenly? Does he have a princely complex?" Then, in the palace, Charlotte thought, the environment, the eligible bachelors, and the spoiled princess. There will be a lot of gossip. It is a little awkward since it is my first time being in a place like this. But can I rely on the Duke for help? Lord Breguet spoke, "Duke, I did not know I would see you at the debutante ball. I almost did not recognize your highness. You look different from when you attended other balls. I did not expect your eyes to dress in such modest clothes either." Charlotte replied, "Thank you for your concern. I thought it was time to try different styles." The Lord said, "If I knew your highness was such a meek person, I would have proposed to you myself, you know, when His Majesty was personally sending out marriage proposals to every eligible nobleman." Charlotte thought, "What? He is just trying to point out that no one wanted to be engaged with me." She replied, "It seems like you were one step too late. How unfortunate." The Lord spoke, "Then please excuse me, as I have something to discuss with the Duke." People were interested in him. After that, Charlotte thought, "Those people did not come anywhere near as long as I was next to him. The Duke certainly shines the most in this crowd. Everyone is gathered around him." So the original Charlotte wore those types of dresses because she wanted to garner attention. I can't believe I am already attached to her. Even though it has not been a couple of weeks since I transmigrated into her body, on the bright side, should I be relieved that nobody cares about me? The next moment, she said, "Archduke." The Duke turned away. Charlotte spoke, "How extremely rude to act like this to the Empire's princess. You should know that turning one's back first in front of royalty is a crime against the imperial family." The Archduke asked, "Just what are you scheming? Do you plan to threaten me now?" Charlotte stated, "The next time we meet, I hope you uphold your manners before I have to point something out. Next time, I might have to report your crimes to the imperial family, then, if you will excuse me. The Duke asked, are you really just leaving like this? Charlotte replied, is there anything else to discuss between us? As you already know, I am engaged to Duke Adler. I hope you don't have any misunderstanding that I will still like you. After that, Charlotte thought, a room on the second floor, at the end of the annex at Count Mostyn's mansion. They already cleared out everything. I thought I could easily find the first victim's room written on Watson's note. What is wrong with me? This is an allergic reaction. A maid came and asked, who are you? Charlotte thought, if word gets out that I am investigating the murder case, wait, it seems like this maid does not recognize that I am the princess. I will try to push any suspicion off me and get out of here. Charlotte asked, don't you know who I am? The standard of Count Mostyn's maids is terrible. Are you the maid in charge of this room? How on earth are you cleaning this room? The maid replied, I am so sorry, my lady. It is understandable, it is not because I have not cleaned the room, but probably due to the peaches. The person residing in this room always experimented on peaches. Charlotte thought, I can't tell how these are related to the murder yet. I can only add it to the information I have gathered about the victim. Then she said, okay, if you say so, I will overlook it this time. After that, she thought, it seems like I was not caught. Peaches and murders. How are they connected? Then she heard voices, we lost a huge sum of money. Who would have thought that Lord Ian would run away with our money? Charlotte thought, are those the ladies that were at the cake store? Well, it is not my problem. Then she heard another voice, how could we leave your ducal highness be when you abandoned your friends to survive by yourself? Charlotte opened the door and asked, what are you doing right now? One of the noble ladies said, this is none of your business. Charlotte replied, her ducal highness will soon be part of my family. The other noble lady spoke, I am surprised that you picked the wrong side. Her status as a princess does not put her on the same level as the other imperial family members. Charlotte told them, it seems like you ladies were foolish enough to fall for a scam and lose all your money, yet you justify it by claiming you have chosen the right side. The noble ladies shouted, you have crossed the line. She is the one in the wrong. She promised to invest in the business but backed out by herself. I did not realize that her ducal highness knew nothing about loyalty. Did someone teach you how to hop from one man to another like a migratory bird? Charlotte asked, are you willing to take responsibility for what you said right now? Do you want to be accused of blasphemy against the imperial family? The noble lady replied, I never mentioned anyone's name. Are you feeling ashamed now? I can't be accused of blasphemy. Charlotte said, do you think the law is the only way I can have you punished? Don't you know that when the law fails, the fist prevails? The noble ladies ran away. Charlotte told her, please don't misunderstand. I was not really going to hit them with this. I only wanted to scare them. Blair replied, thank you, your highness, it was as you said. That business was indeed a scam. Charlotte replied, no problem. Blair asked, are you okay? Charlotte replied, I am fine. I just suddenly lost all strength in my arms. The Duke came and asked, what are you doing, your highness, did you do this? Charlotte replied, well, I did break the wine bottle. Charlotte asked, what were you planning to do to my sister? Blair, trying to speak, said, it is all a misunderstanding, let me explain. The Duke said, I saw your close friends come out screaming from the room, and then I heard something shatter. I don't think I need any further explanation beyond what I have witnessed so far. Charlotte told him, it is not what it looks like, I think you are misunderstanding. The Duke asked, are you going to lie again? Did not your highness admit to breaking the bottle? Are you planning to feign ignorance despite the state this room is in? I am done with your excuses. I thought you had changed this time, but it appears one cannot conceal their true self. Charlotte thought, those are the eyes of someone who won't believe anything I say right now, or someone who does not want to believe me. He had no intention of hearing me out. I just wanted to help. Maybe the Duke wants to kill me because he simply hates me. I was wrong. I have no strength left in my legs. Watson came and said, you left earlier than expected. How was the dancing? Charlotte replied, I did not dance. Watson asked, are you able to walk to the carriage? Should I carry you? Charlotte replied, yes. I would like to have some rest. The Duke was watching them. Charlotte looked at the Duke. Watson spoke. Truthfully, you looked more stunning in the dress you tried on at the store. Next scene. The maid asked, are you not going to send a letter to the Duke today either? You used to send one every day without fail. Watson came and spoke. The serial murder case. The 5th victim was discovered at dawn today. It is someone your highness knows as well. The 5th victim is Lord Breguet, the commander of Ciardina. Next scene. The Duke of Adler is from a family that enjoys great wealth and honor in the empire. Renius, who inherited good genes from his parents, became a handsome man, but in his life, where everything was perfect, misfortune slowly came. A servant came and said, young master, a marriage proposal from the ladies has arrived. The Duke replied, a marriage proposal, burn it. His mother, the Duchess, asked, what do you mean? I am very worried about your marriage. How are the girls these days? The Duke replied, my priority is to get my mother better, marriage comes after that. His mother spoke, still, shouldn't I at least see your engagement? The Duke said, mother, don't say that. But neither her wishes nor Renius's wishes came true. The day his mother passed, his father came and said, say hello, this is the person who will be your mother. We met when I was serving as commander of Cortina. Renius thought, I am sure my mother was still healthy around that time. His mother's death, his father's affair, and his stepmother, these misfortunes combined made Renius's heart even colder. A few years later, his father passed away. As he began to live a life more suited to the Duke of Adler than to Renius, his world became darker. Then one day, the emperor said, Duke, this is the year the mining license expires. Have you seen my youngest daughter? Should I proceed with the engagement? The Duke thought, that idiot. He replied, yes, it is an honor. After that, the Duke thought, I am so uncomfortable with the idea of an arranged marriage that I am dying. Are you shamelessly asking me to date you? If it were not for the right to mine, I would refuse it. As the crazy princess continued to meet with me, she was falling deeper and deeper for me. Am I that good? The answer I heard at that time was very shocking. When she talked about me, how beautiful I am. Since she liked me so much, it would be polite for me to return the favor. I thought I would fully enjoy the ticket. Since I paid 3 times the premium, she is still an uncultured and unpleasant woman. After this song is over, I am going to put this unpleasant head aside. Just this song, now, already the 5th song. She is not in the arms of a stranger but in the arms of her fiancé. Isn't that necessarily something that can be called immodest? Maybe she is tired because she can't sleep because of me. If I don't want to experience something unpleasant like this in the future, I need to set a time to meet in advance so that the princess does not lose sleep. From then until just before the debutante, it was a disastrous time for Renius. The Duke thought, that wink at the breakfast table was really cute. Why is it that the more I imagine it, the more I love it? Renius had been addicted to Charlotte's compliments for some time. He thought, it is exciting, it is always new. Recent letters seem more explicit and bold. The Duke asked, do you know what it means when a woman asks to meet in a quiet place where they can be alone? It's not about me. I'm just asking about a friend. The butler replied, doesn't that mean she wants to have an intimate and secret meeting? The Duke asked, what does it mean when a woman says her heart feels hot? Does your heart feel hot? The butler said, and this is how a person with no dating experience starts at the beginning. I guess your friend will have to prepare his mind soon. The Duke thought, prepare his mind. The Duke continued thinking, since I have not been caught, things have gotten out of hand, I need to know what is going on. I must meet her quickly to find out what is happening. If she asks me to do something inappropriate, I must refuse it completely. One day, the Duke thought, that dress, that is beautiful. The shop owner spoke, Your Grace, I am sorry, but the dress has already been pre-booked. The Duke said, I will buy it. You have not forgotten who I am, have you? Triple the price. Is that not enough compensation? The Duke thought, I was planning to give her the dress, but unexpectedly, there was a murder incident. The palace was closed for a while, making me unable to see Charlotte. It was surprising that she did her best to prevent the emperor's assassination. She was the first person I wanted to see in that place. I felt a strange pride then. On the day of the ball, it was good that I bought a dress that did not show the chest. One of the noble ladies spoke. Did you know the dress Princess Charlotte wore today? It is said she stole it from the Viscountess's daughter. The other noble lady spoke. It was so unfair that I could not sleep. It was a dress I worked hard to book. The Duke asked, where did you hear about the dress issue? The noble lady replied, that is what the dressmaker told me when I was there, no matter how harsh what she said to me. The Duke stated, I am the one who bought the dress. If I remember correctly, Lady Whittaker was not there. Your reservation was cancelled. Just the fact that the princess wore this dress today. You have a great talent for storytelling. If you are going to lie, do it properly. I won't tolerate lies about my fiancé. Then someone announced that Archduke Kilian had arrived. The Duke thought, the princess probably did not go to him. A lord spoke, by the way, the Archduke is also very naive. I can handle a woman who clings to me a bit, but ignoring her completely and not even touching her once is absurd. I wonder if they have already had some fun without us knowing. The Duke stated, it seems like you are crossing a line in front of me. Another nobleman said, are you really taking liberties, claiming she is your fiancé? No matter how much you indulge her, wouldn't the princess have chased after the Duke's tail as before? The Duke stated, you are being presumptuous. You will have to take responsibility for those words. After that, he thought, honestly, it is infuriating. If it were not for the princess's partner, I would not even be at this event. Then he saw the Archduke and the princess together. He came out and thought, are you trying to view the partnership because Duke Kilian is attending the ball? Suddenly, he heard noble ladies screaming. The Duke thought, they are not the ladies who hang out with Blair. No way. What is happening there? Then he shouted at the princess. After the princess left, Blair asked, brother, are you crazy? Why are you acting like this? The princess helped me when I was in trouble. She just accidentally dropped the wine bottles. I said I would explain earlier, but if you don't even listen to what I have to say and just keep talking, what can I do? How can I face the princess now? The Duke came out and thought, Princess, I need to explain the situation now and apologize for the misunderstanding earlier. Watson came and picked her up. A few days later, the Duke thought, there have been no letters from Charlotte, who used to send them without fail every day. Since the engagement, she had been sending letters without fail every day. We were not even supposed to see each other until the wedding, so even if she no longer likes me, it does not change anything. I could not care less, not at all. The butler came and said, a letter came from Princess Charlotte. Right now, the princess is confined in the detention center of the investigation agency. The Duke asked, what did you say? A few hours before Renius broke out in contemplation and ran away, Watson spoke. It is the same modus operandi as the past 4 crimes. So the investigation bureau also concluded it is the work of a serial killer. Charlotte asked, the suspected perpetrator is also a tall man over 180 centimeters. Watson replied, yes, and moreover, Lord received military training. If he were subdued by someone capable of strangulation, that would make sense. Charlotte thought, it was not just because of hurt feelings that the investigation was put on hold. She asked, where was the body found? Watson replied, in the back alley of Norwood Street. It is where I grew up, but it is not a place frequented by high nobility. It is a slum with criminals, and the body was probably taken to the morgue of the investigation bureau. Charlotte asked, would it be suspicious if the Empire's princess wanted to see the bodies of the serial murder victims? She thought, the most conclusive evidence in a murder case is the victim's body. This time, I need to personally confirm the strongest evidence. Watson replied, of course, it would be suspicious. Honestly, I don't understand why the princess wants to investigate this case either. Charlotte said, I must make sure to confirm the body. Doesn't the investigation bureau have a detention center? Next scene. The officers spoke, young lady, don't live your life like this. What kind of scene is this in broad daylight? Charlotte thought, there is nothing quite like a minor offense that won't catch the emperor's attention. Then she shouted, you can't just lock people up like this. I need to use the restroom. After that, she thought, so this is the morgue. Luckily, it is not far from the restroom. The officer said, I will be back with some work on the murder case. Come out quickly after taking care of your business. Charlotte thought, it is easy for surveillance to slip with a slender, drunken woman. Everyone is busy with the murder investigation, so, there it is, a pale face. This is not strangulation, is it? If someone was strangled with a rope while still alive, there would be severe bruising on the face. The victim's face is clean, no defensive wounds on the neck. A person trained in military defense did not defend himself. Instead, there are bright spots on other parts of the body. This is a reaction to poison. What on earth did the criminal do to manipulate the cause of death? Some time later, Charlotte thought, I have no one to turn to. If I get out of the palace, the princess's budget will be slashed. But there is one person. Not someone from the palace, but someone who will come for me. Back in the present time, the Duke asked, what on earth? What is this situation? Charlotte replied, Your Grace, you are here. Even covered in sweat, you are charming. The Duke asked, What are you doing here? Charlotte replied, As you can see, I have been charged with drunken disorderly conduct. Sometimes, women want to indulge. So while you are here, could you please get me out? Keep my identity as a princess a secret. Charlotte thought, this person is the one you are looking for. The investigation bureau, deep in the midst of a murder investigation, arrested his fiancée for drunken disorderly conduct. And he is the real culprit who vouched for his fiancée's identity. No wonder he is not nervous coming to investigate his own case. It is just another day for a serial killer. The Duke spoke, the procedure is complete, let's go. Some time later, Charlotte said, Thank you for today's help. I couldn't think of anyone else to ask, but you are still my fiancé. The Duke asked, Are you hurt anywhere? Charlotte thought, I thought you would criticize and blame me again. Then she replied, I am fine. I am sorry for contacting you out of the blue without prior arrangement, take care. The Duke asked, Anyway, now that our schedules are free, let's go on a date today. Charlotte thought, a date? Going on a date with someone you just got out of jail. Charlotte spoke, This is a restaurant that is very famous for its steaks. I usually enjoy steak with wine. The Duke replied, Do whatever you want. Charlotte thought, it seems like he doesn't really want to go. The restaurant was the location of the second murder in the serial killings. The person killed was the head chef. This is a good opportunity to learn about the connection between this man and the head chef. After that, at the restaurant, Charlotte thought, that is not suitable for beef. The real taste of steak can be felt in meat that has some blood, she said. I would like it to be medium rare. The Duke asked, Why did you disguise yourself and go drinking in Norwood, and did you drink a lot? Charlotte replied, I heard there is a famous pub on that street. There are times when things are painful and unfair. So I wanted to get drunk. It helps me forget a little. Don't you ever feel like that? The Duke replied, I wouldn't know, as I have never drunk to the point of intoxication. Charlotte thought, I can't wait to finish this topic. That was just a hasty and pathetic excuse. The Duke asked, Was it so painful that you wanted to get drunk? Could it perhaps have been because of me? About what happened on your debutante day, I regret it. That day, I made a big mistake. I apologize for my inadvertent impudence toward the princess, and also for helping Blair. Even if it is late, I want to thank you. Charlotte said, Lady Blair is the Duke's younger sister. Since we are going to be a family, it is only natural that I help her, she thought. Why is this man acting like this today? The Duke remembered, ordinary casual attire like that of a commoner and a makeup-free face. Why on earth would this ridiculous woman? I was so out of breath from running that I could not think straight. On the other hand, what upset me was the fact that my fiancé was charged with public intoxication. My first apology, and Charlotte was so gracious that she forgave me. I felt like the heavy stone weighing on my chest had disappeared. My heart feels light and fluttery. Perhaps Charlotte, could she be the one who understands everything about me? I have never told anyone before. Wouldn't it be good to confide in her about what has been troubling me all this time? The Duke spoke, I remember the last time I visited this restaurant. Those are not very good memories, Charlotte thought. What is it? Impossible. Are you planning to reveal the memories of the murder right here and now? The Duke said, 2 months ago, the head chef here changed the way my steak was cooked on a whim, from well done to medium rare. Charlotte thought, the chef really had a lot of experience, but still. Just because he changed the way he cooked your steak, did you kill the chef for this reason? The Duke continued, whenever I smell the scent of blood, I panic. The blood of the steak was too much. That day, I almost made a scene in front of Blair and my stepmother. Charlotte thought, I can't believe it. A killer who graduated from military school with honors. Do you feel scared by the smell of blood? The Duke told her, there is no need to make such a pitiful face. I was with my mother when she died, vomiting blood. After that day, whenever I smell blood, I remember that scene, and I find it hard to breathe. Charlotte asked, so that is why you gave up joining the Imperial Army after graduating from military school? The Duke replied, yes, I could not join the army with these symptoms. If I had stayed at the Duke's residence instead of going to military school, I thought my mother might not have died. Charlotte thought, about your mother's death. I am sorry. Does anyone else know about this? The Duke replied, I have never told anyone about my symptoms. Charlotte asked, then why did you tell me? The Duke replied, well, because we are going to be a family. Charlotte thought, witnessing the death of your parents is difficult for everyone. One day, I begged my parents to go to an amusement park, and on the way there, we had an accident that damaged our car so badly, and I was the only one who survived. If I had not begged them to go to the amusement park, no one would have died. I still remember the days I spent blaming myself. I wonder if he also had many sleepless nights like that. Charlotte spoke, it is clear that none of this is your fault, Your Grace, so don't blame yourself. That night, Charlotte thought, I should not have personal feelings toward the suspect, but I ended up comforting him without realizing it. My mind is a mess. Why am I acting like this? This is not the time for it. The victim's autopsy results were surely manipulated. Let's first organize the facts uncovered during the undercover investigation at the detention center. The cause of death in the case of the Marquis was not strangulation but poisoning. Two assumptions arise if that is the case. First, the perpetrator of the Marquis murder exists, and also attempted to frame their crime on a serial killer. Second, not only the Marquis but also the victims of the past incidents were poisoned. Although I have not examined the victims of past crimes, this second assumption feels more credible. Then, the knot. When the maids brought out the trash, they were all choosing common knots. That was not one of those knots. The same knot was used in all 5 murder cases, so the probability of the same perpetrator is high. If it is poisoning and not assassination, there is no need for the perpetrator to be a tall, sturdy man over 180 centimeters. I heard testimony from the first victim, Lady Blair, just a few days ago, where she said he was dismissed by my brother, because he was neglectful of his teaching duties. He was too absorbed in his own research to focus on teaching. His stepmother opposed it, saying she could understand to some extent. Charlotte thought, and then there is the chef who arbitrarily changed the way Duke's steak was cooked. Both victims had contact with the Duke and had crossed his nerves at some point. But is that really the motive for the murder? While he has a calm demeanor, I don't see him as someone who would kill people over something like that. Is it because of the brief introduction to this world's original text that I happened to read? What if he is not a culprit but just a mere suspect? If so, then who could be the real culprit? Next scene. Charlotte thought, it seems like Camilla has something on her mind today. The Marquis spoke, there have been numerous challenges with legal terms emerging in the past decade. Also, it has been pointed out that within our empire's judicial system, it is difficult to completely resolve this issue. Your Highness, Princess Charlotte, what are your thoughts on this matter? Charlotte asked, well then, where shall we begin? After a moment, the Marquis spoke, I have nothing more to add. That was a very excellent response. The Emperor said, I am very pleased. I heard Charlotte has been diligently studying at the library. She is really becoming unrecognizable. Charlotte replied, you flatter me, father. Then she thought, it is out of the question for me to delve into my major field. A servant came and spoke. Here is the upcoming schedule of official imperial events. The Emperor said, is it already time for the Imperial Federation event? Camilla's birthday celebration was prepared at the Princess Palace this time. This year, let's have Princess Charlotte's birthday celebration at the Imperial Palace instead. Charlotte thought, what is going on here? The Emperor chooses a child to host their birthday celebration at the Imperial Palace every year. It has always been Camilla who was chosen. From the past few days, there was a hint in the original story that she would eventually inherit the throne. Next scene. The Duke spoke, "Today is the day we are going on a date." Charlotte thought, it is unusual for the Duke to initiate the conversation first. After that, Charlotte thought, now that I am starting to think, he might not be the culprit, I am not sure what to say. The Duke said, I noticed earlier that the princess seems to have quite a deep understanding of imperial law. Charlotte replied, I studied hard. The Duke asked, if you don't mind, would you attend this year's Imperial Federation event as my partner? I really enjoy attending the Imperial Federation event. What I mean is, you don't have to worry that I will dislike attending the event. Charlotte thought, he didn't seriously take it to heart when I said he didn't have to be my partner, did he? She said, well then, I will rely on you again this time. The Duke asked, is there anything else you want to say to me today? Charlotte replied, no, there is not. Then she thought, why is he acting like this today? No, seriously, why is he acting like this? What does he mean that today I didn't say something I usually say? Charlotte told him, there is something on your face here. The Duke asked, what is it? Charlotte spoke, handsomeness. Charlotte thought, no, I can't believe it. Did he really want to hear a compliment from me? Has he been thinking of me as a praise shuttle all this time? Is this screw-loose guy really a serial killer? Like this video, hit the like button and subscribe for more videos.